Alright, so, just making sure I'm actually online. Picking up for part 3 of our solve of listener crossword number 3679, author by Sabre, which won the Ascot Gold Cup for the best listener of the year 2002. So this morning we, with the assistance of Shark, made some very, very good progress. Managed to get quite a bit of the grid filled in. Just to catch everyone up, wordplay in 15 of the across clues leads to an extra letter that is not entered in the grid. These extra letters spell out the text that may prove useful. We've worked out what that text is. We haven't, still missing, I think, the exact passing of 3 of the clues. Hey Ari, how are you? But the message that we do have so far is the vowel F-E-A-R, and that text is going to be, sorry, pulled this out earlier, The Valley of Fear, which is one of the Sherlock Holmes books. Still don't know how it ties into the clue yet, but so how that text ties into the puzzle yet, except that it is apparently a text that may prove useful. I haven't dug into this part of the preamble yet, which refers to an author who's meant to be highlighted in the completed diagram, who's apparently famous for 2 things. The first being his 8 down on the 32 across and the 24 down, which are all otherwise unclude entries, and for the something of and something, which corresponds with 8 clashes in the diagram, or the letters of those 2 words correspond with 8 clashes in the diagram. Haven't put them together yet. I'm sort of want to hold off looking up, thinking about what that could be. I mean, the author could be Arthur Conan Doyle. It could potentially also be Dr. Watson, who's, I think, supposed to narrator and the putative author of the Sherlock Holmes stories. But I suspect what we're looking for here with the 8 down on the 32 across and 24 down is probably probably a title of a book or another work. But it'd be easy enough to look up Sir Arthur Conan Doyle and see. So the books out. I think he did. He wrote a few things. There's one about apes, I think, and one about dinosaurs. Can't remember. Oh, here we go. I mean, it's got the front of the book has a little biography in it. But it only mentions the various Sherlock Holmes stories by name. It's interesting. He was a champion of those convicted of crimes that they had not committed, as a witness to his efforts in proving the innocence, as witnessed in his efforts in proving the innocence of Oscar Slater, a sportsman, a flesh and blood detective himself, for whose help there were frequent demands, a physician in a Boer War, and preacher and a missionary. Remarkable chap in a lot of ways, I suppose. Some of these. Oh, this is interesting. So I've got a Penguin edition of this book, and like all penguins do, the one I'm holding in my hands is published in 1981, or printed in 1981. Like all penguins do, it's got at the back of it lists of various other penguin books that could be bought, including, I just flicked over to it, a list of Graham Greene books, and I think we did see Graham Greene. Oh no, we saw Graham, not Graham Greene, mentioned here. Graham, in the sense of Kenneth Graham. But maybe that's. I mean, Graham Greene has the extra on the end of green, not the. Anyway, I'm talking nonsense. Talking total nonsense. Let's see if there's an additional list of books by Sir Arthur Conan Doyle. But I've only got the ones about Sherlock Holmes. Anyway, I'll come back to that. That's all one way of saying ready to dive in and try and solve some more of these clues. Let's see what we're able to achieve. Both of us. Feel free to chime in if you think you can give me a steer in the right direction with any of these clues. We're looking at 5 across before, and we'd worked out that Selena, it's a word that means spring, which could give us an explanation for the first, well, it fits with the first 6 characters of what we've got going across there. Another word that does fit there is salinity, but I'm just not sure how that works with if the definition was indenture, because indenture, of course, is something that's a concept far removed from salinity. Deed or a contract. So I should go back to the Chambers definition. Deed under seal, the act of indenting or indentation, an agreement between 2 or more parties. Started with indenture. It's time you started with indenture. I also had my old Chambers book of word list too, so I might just see if there's any word patterns which jump out at me. I want to avoid just doing a simple pattern search on the. So I've got this one here, which is published, I think it's in the 50s, 1956. Might be boring for you, dear watcher, but I want to avoid doing a pattern search on Chambers Dictionary app, because I think there's more fun to be had by trying to nut these things out without it. Everything might be faster with it. Of course, there is a chance as well that there's a very real chance that there's a clash here as well. We've only identified 2 of the clashes. With indenture, I wonder if that could be sailorly. No. Sanguify. Sanitary. Nope. Sapidity. Sapidity could be. What does that word mean? It fits. It's mean insipid. Oh no, exhilarating. No. Like I say, there's just nothing that jumps out. Salutary, sanctify, solacity, nothing that jumps out that seems to make indenture. It's a shame. Satanity. Devilishness. No. Oh. I mean, with indenture almost suggests an ly on the end. If we, I mean, with indenture could be something, I suppose. Tend to include an adjective or an adverb. Maybe I should be looking at 8 down. $30 down and 30 across. What do we have there? Non-stop prayers before company to get married in Italian. Get married in Italian. Non-stop. Got that underlined as a potential word there. It's in continual, unending. Persistent, chronic, non-stop, constant, steadily, unbroken, unending. I think sorry, we lost the screen there. Third letter O, last letter H potentially. Nothing there that makes me think that could be it. I've just got no idea what this could be either. Advertisement followed lawyers 3 terms. I mean, I do like the idea of it being triad or something. We are missing one of these clues will generate an extra O. One of these 3. And this clue here, 43 down, is going to have to generate an extra R. I suspect that's going to be a double definition clue, but what do we have for, so 15 of the down clues contain a redundant word whose initial letters spell out an alter ego. So how many of these do we have so far? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. So we're missing 6, but what does it spell out? So just going to only leave spaces where there's incomplete clues. Could be a polo, you know. So we could be spelling out, maybe the alter ego is a polo something. We don't have an extra L there. So maybe it's not a polo. Indeed, there's no extra word in any of these clues that could start with L. So we just spell out. Spell it. Initial letters spell an alter ego. What's been Napoleon, I suppose? Could be Napoleon. I wonder if it's Napoleon. And we're looking for an extra N here. Yeah. I wonder if this could be an extra word. If the N here is extra, let's put that in parentheses. That would potentially give us N if we have an extra E here. That could give us E. Nepal. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. Napoleon. An extra N could be nightshade. Napoleon of. Napoleon of. God. Is it 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. And maybe 2 from here. I wonder how many Napoleons there are. I mean, because it's. Napoleon is an alter ego. I mean, there's obviously 1, 2, 3, but I don't know an alter ego. I wonder if there's a character in the Valley of Fear, Napoleon somebody. And Moriarty is referred to in the Valley of Fear. I think it's been a while since I've read it. Maybe we'll have to go back and read this. I've just found a bus receipt as I'm flicking through the book. From the start of Surf Road. The date is 13th of July 2008. That was the L90 outbound, so I've been going from. No, it's valid to Surf Road. We've been going from the city to Palm Beach, I think, in July 2008. And by then, I think I'd read halfway through the book. How's that? I wonder if there is a Napoleon in Valley of Fear. Surely. Wouldn't know where to look in it for unless it jumps out. I'm going to have to go read it, I think. I'm going to have to read it. Anyway. But working on that basis, let's assume I use Napoleon. I wonder if that helps us to work out some of these clues. I mean, I think the answer to that is shipping, so I'm not too worried about working that one out. But if it is Napoleon, then the answer to the extra word in 20 down would have to be end, which does change the meaning of the potential reckoning of that clue. So 20 down we have CO something, so C of common, SEE can give C, of can give O, common cold, originating in bacteria. COCCI is a word. I wonder if it's... Is it? No. Cocos, cocci, cocci. No. It's not bacteria. But I think those are all... Every single one of those, I think, is a definition of something that can be defined by C. C, only them 5 letters. Unless it's C for C, O giving O from of, 2-letter word meaning common, and a word ending in C. So something like this. And then we could have a word which is an adjective for originating in bacteria, as in coming from bacteria. Is there a two-letter definition of abbreviation for common? That'll be a nice one to get, that one, because we'll tend to confirm our Napoleon. It has been about 20 minutes since I started the stream, so it would be nice to... I've only got one viewer, it's up to 3. It would be nice to be able to, if I'm going to stream myself doing a crossword, it would be nice to actually do the crossword. See if one's not doing the crossword, then they're just watching me talk to myself, which I don't think is particularly... It's particularly compelling. I don't know why I want to watch that. Just going to my word, but looking for a word that could potentially mean originating in bacteria. 5 letters, CO ends in C potentially. Cocos, COCCO. A taro of another edible sugar. Colic. Certainly not something been originating from bacteria. Comic. Once again, no. Conic. Hey Darren. Just like, I haven't actually made any progress at all since I logged on about 20 minutes ago, so you haven't missed anything. What I accept, cocoa, I was looking at that before. Originating in. Is C short for common cold? I'm just wondering how it gets the how we get the CC. And I understand how we'll get the I, but I'm going to write that in. C-O-C-C-I. Thanks, Chuck. That will give end here. I mean, that's one way of looking at it. Originating has to be doing something. But it suffers from that very non-Zemanian, is that how you pronounce it? Non-Zemanian fault of not actually, and it's not common cold's originating characters, there's nothing that says what originates common cold, but no, I've actually quite going. I think in 25 Dead Nightshade might be the extra word. So I suspect our alter ego is in fact Napoleon, somebody. Alright, Black Nightshade, 25 down. And black can mean B. Dead leaves crushed. So it could be just B with dead leaving a word for crushed. In fine perfume. Some of these answers are going to clash as well. They're going to have to clash. Because we have 6 other clashes that we need to identify, and we've only got so many clues. We could account for 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. We've only got 7 clues, so well, 8, I think. But I think what that means in every single one of these clues, there is going to be a clash. Which at this point of the solve does make our solve much more difficult, our task much harder. Just coming back to 26 down, I mean, lactic could well mean of milk. So if we have the advantage of the assumption that ordering to give of Napoleon as part of the pseudonym, and therefore ordering being additional word, I wonder if we can therefore Moriarty was described by Sherlock as the professor of crime, I think. Well, Moriarty, I think, in the books was quite literally a professor. Sort of like the evil genius of the Sherlock Holmes in a word. Oh, do I have up lie instead of up tie on the grid? Sorry, that should definitely be up tie. Thanks for that spot. It's written from the first page of the first page of the first chapter of Valley of Fear. I'm just going to skip the first little things. But Dr. Watson and Sherlock Holmes are obviously sitting in their sitting room. And Dr. Watson continues thus. He leaned upon his hand with his untasted breakfast before him. He stared at the slip of paper he had just drawn from its envelope. Then he took the envelope itself, held it up to the light, and very carefully studied both the exterior and the flap. "It's Porlock's writing," he said. I can hardly doubt that it is Porlock's writing, although I've only seen it twice before. The Greek E with the peculiar top flourish is distinctive, but if it is from Porlock, then it must be something of the very first importance. Speaking to himself, rather than to me, but my vexation disappeared in the interest with which the words had awakened. Who then is Porlock, I asked. Porlock, Watson, is a nom de plume, mere identification mark, but behind it lies a shifty and evasive personality. He goes on and on talking about Porlock. And I think on the next page, I think he identifies Porlock, he said, as Moriarty. Or starts talking about Moriarty. Can't get Porlock out of that, can we? No. Anyway, first page of Valley of Fear, we are talking about nom de plumes. Oh, so you did need Napoleon of Crime. Well, that changes things. That would mean then that we're potentially looking for E here. And Chugger might be wrong. Because maybe the extra word here would have to be court. So I'm no longer sure about Chugger. If that's right, let's assume we are looking for the Napoleon of Crime. Let's have to get rid of that. Let's get rid of that. Don't have to get rid of Plimsoll. Let's take Chugger out. Let's pretend that's a C. We have an E here, which means one of these is going to have to give an R, and the only thing that can give an R is that. I think that's correct. Let me just... Oh, so is it? Napoleon of Crime. So what do we then have here for... How would we go about solving... 28 down. Thief's front foot becomes hard. Thief's front foot becomes hard. He halts. It's probably something ends in R. But it sort of opens up what I think might be about 32 and 30 across as well, doesn't it? Having enough means losing top. And having enough is to be wealthy or to be sated. I suspect we are looking for a four-letter word for table. Coming back to that, what was... We pulled up the list before. I think we're really in the final little bits and pieces of the grid fill now, which... And the first... It's probably not a 90-10 rule, but it may well be a 80-20 rule or a 70-30 rule when it comes to these things. Chow, four-letter words to table. We're potentially looking for one where we can add a letter at the front and it means having enough means. Chow, diet, dish, fair food grub list. Menu move not plan slab tuck. Stuck wouldn't mean tuck. Well, having enough means. I don't think so. Put those back in. Yeah, so come back to where I was before. I mean, I wonder if can French not 8 bottles of milk give us lactic? French not 8 bottles. Eight can be like rowers. I wonder if it can be like octas in. Yeah. Oct and octo denote 8, but I don't think that's. I wonder if it's 8. The word means 8 around or something else, but I don't think that's. Lake, layman. No. Just can't quite make French night out of that. 8 bottling of French night. So with this one, there's such a strange little letter pattern, but it may well be an excellent candidate for a clash as well. 7 letter words starting with BU. There aren't actually that many of them. There's only a column in here. Buckshee, B-U-K-S-H-E-E is a word, according to the Chinese crossword list. B-U-K-S-H-E-E, that's paymaster. Well, I don't think we can get, I mean it fits, but I can't see how it's possibly defined by that clue. Anyway, carrying on. Read? No. Burger, if we have a clash with the R, that's, I think that's a townsperson, not a perfume. No. Where was I? Bustler, busy and butcher. Once again, probably not a fine perfume. Crush and fine perfume. No. Oh, there the jumps out. It's all rather depressing. 40 minutes in. If it wasn't for one tip, wouldn't have made. I suppose that's progress in itself. Probably in crime. Can we get an extra E out of engenders disappointment? I think so. Engenders disappointment. And maybe we're not looking at sell there for the order to the broker. He holds. We got the 32 down. We have, I think, something AS. Sorry, something AS something. Among nameless objects. Bit of treasure. Lawyer can apparently be an AV or a BL or an ATT. Sorry, I'm looking at this one here, 35 across. Advertisement followed lawyer's 3 terms. DA. So absolutely no all out of ideas. All out of ideas. The question is, if we're going to take a step and try to give ourselves a hint, what do we give ourselves a hint for? And by give ourselves a hint, I mean try to get one of these entries out by doing a pattern search. We just want to give ourselves one of those. Which one do we do it for? Mindful, of course, that very mindful that we are still looking for 6. Potentially looking for 6 clashing entries, and that could be what's holding us up. Does perform in A? I think it can. So we have here before company. I wonder if that's ACO for 30. Yeah, ante before company. Get married. I mean, could non-stop prayers be something starting in ACO? Non-stop prayers. What's a prayer can be like a mantra or something? No. Get married in Italian. What's the Italian word for marry? Let's have a look for that. Italian word for marry is sposare. Married. Conjugal. Don't think. No. 8-letter words ending starting ACO though. I mean, we could probably be dealing with some very obscure terminology here. I feel like an idiot if we got it turned out it was actually really obvious. So if you hear that, acoustic, a cosmism, acorn cup, a contim, acontim. I wonder if that could be something prayer related. Aconitum. No, it's a poison. What's an acorn cup? A cosmism? Disbelief in the existence of an eternal world. Not going to be acoustic. So on here, Achiometi. Look at this. Here we go. Achiometi is, I mean, it's just so obvious when you think about it, because, I mean, when you hear the word non-stop prayers, the first thing that comes to mind would be, sorry, I think it might be pronounced Asemeti, but spelled Acoemeti. Obviously a word that we stumble across all the time, which does in fact mean non-stop prayers. Plural noun, an Eastern order of monks who, by alternating choirs, kept divine service going day and night. So it's not non-stop prayers, it's non-stop prayers. We've got before, which is ante and means company. Sorry, ante for A. Company C-O. E-meti. I wonder if, I mean, is it... Translate a meti. I wonder if that's I suspect it's probably actually M in I type, which could well be M in I tie. This gives us the extra Y. Query whether or not I tie will make itself into a clue these days either, even if it is only as wordplay. Accio Meti. Not sure why you didn't get that one earlier, Darren. You don't feel so bad for taking a lot of time. And the fact that it takes a bit of time when you see, realise that what you're hunting for is a word like that. Gives us the first potentially the first letter of 30 down as well, which is A something something something. Having enough means losing top table. I mean, I want it to be having enough mean. It's just having enough. Obviously, an adjective. Having enough means obviously an adjective which means to be well off enough. Having enough means might be. Oh, this is so bloody obvious. It's able. The answer is able, and it is quite simply losing the first letter of table. Having enough means is to be able to do something. You lose the first letter of table and you get that. Which I think goes to show that if we're able to identify something as a clue that contains a gimmick, the wordplay is probably going to be very, very simple. Very, very, very simple. Okay, so we've just got two out in a row, which is helpful and gives me a little bit of hope that we might be able to nut out a bit more of this. 28 down. Something I, something, something H-E-R. Somebody who halts. Assuming this is a sorry, that wasn't. Assuming this is a gimmick clue, the rest of it's probably going to be very simple. The foot, I'm just not sure where the foot comes into things. So, the thief's front foot, I mean, F is obviously plural for foot, so front foot might mean the first appearance of an F in foot becomes an H, but I just don't see where. Now that pattern could give a thief. The thief's front foot becomes hard. He holds. I just do not see it. Don't see it at all. 30. 31 across. We know this is not going to be a
strange clue. Sorry, clue with a gimmick, because... Oh no, it could be. We could have an extra O in here. I suspect 35 across, just looking at the wordplay that we already have from... sorry, the entries that we already have at 35. If it is sell, then... I think we are looking at a clash, and the clash is probably going to be in that... top up there. In the third cell. Is fleet a word? No. Because I like it ending in AD. Picture and pilfer, perhaps. That was 28 down, wasn't it? He halts. Front foot becomes hard. Where do we get the C for that though? I mean, a pilfer. Does pilfer mean to steal, or is it a pilferer? Would be a thief. Well, I did have a list of thieves before. Let's go back to our list of thieves. A nicker. A filcher. Could have a filcher. Filcher would become a halter, perhaps, right? A filcher. I like that. I'm going to do that. I mean, it could be that the answer is filcher and the definition is thief. Front foot becomes hard. He halts. He halts could be putting he inside something. Not sure. What other thieves do we have? A brigand, a burglar, a cateran, a cosh boy, a footpad, a hoister, a nobbler, a nuthook, a pandor, a pandor spelt with a U, a poacher, a prigger, a rustler, a tooser, a whizzer, and a yegman. All words in common parts. Up until I solved this evening, I thought, I mean, it might be just not in the frame of mind for it, but I was thinking to myself, God, this Sabre's going. You get through a Sabre remarkably quickly. Not true, of course. Yeah, famous. Jinxed it. Okay, a filcher is a thief. A front foot becomes hard. I mean, that would mean that either of these two would in fact be an extra word, because if it's just to replace the front F, then that can't be right. One of them would be superfluous. And it can't be that we've got an F there that's superfluous if we're looking for the Napoleon of crime. Is our nom de plume. He halts. And something is a filcher.
doubt it. There's a hitcher. I just want this to be creative something. When I look at that, let's just go back up to the preamble. So this is what? So it's famous for both his creative on the treatise. It has to be a treatise on something. Treatise on the 32 across, 24 down. Theorem. It's got the bit binomial. But maybe the author is, in fact, Professor Moriarty. I'm going to go back to the Valley of Fear now. Treatise on the binomial theorem. Reading again from the Sherlock Holmes' description of Professor Moriarty. Is he not the celebrated author of The Dynamics of an Asteroid, a book which ascends to... That's the only thing that's attributed to him, The Dynamics of an Asteroid. So I wonder who's the author of the treatise on the binomial theorem, if that's what it is. There is, of course, a reference to a clue. They consult, Sherlock Holmes consults Bradshaw's and then Whitaker's Almanac. To try and solve the code. I think we do actually have a code in the central line here. Don't see a reference to the treatise on the binomial theorem though. Anyway. What is, if we assume that that is the work that we're looking for, just trying to work out what that means for but it would tend to confirm filter as the answer for 28 down, potentially, with the definition of thief. Doesn't actually, funny enough, oh no, it gives us 33 down as well. It might mean that that starts with M. Among nameless objects, a little bit of treasure. Could that be midst, as in a midst, for a word meaning among? Among is midst in the middle. And perhaps we have a clash here. A little bit of treasure could give us the T. Nameless objects is probably minds, so one's objects is one's minds. Oh, that is sneaky. So one's mind is one's inclination or the direction of one's will, direction of the will. There we go. And an object is sort of an aim or what somebody's focused on. Yeah, I reckon that's what that is. We have a clash here, which is useful to know. So We were back down to only one clash, but now we can bring ourselves back up to 2. So we still have M there. Sorry, where are we? We have a clash here. Of course, one of the significant things about identifying that clash is there's nothing else in those clashing letters can be clash itself. I like for 43 across, it's starting to look a lot like an otter. Was there an otter in Wind of the Willows? I mean, that will give us the extra R, because one bad egg would be a rotter. Otter in Wind in the Willows. Here is an otter, a confident, headstrong friend of rat, badger, mole and toad. Well, that's useful. Alright, maybe we are actually on a roll this time. Maybe we are actually making the sort of progress which will see us get to an initial grid fill. So that gives us otter, I like that. Still only have 2. Yeah, nameless objects is the N removed from mines. Still like filter for 28 across, but I just can't make it work. Can't make it work. He halts. No, I just want the he halts to be the definition almost, but and a filter and a pilcher. I know, I think we looked at this before, didn't we? Pilcher's a scabbard. No. It's only pilcher with the T. So H gets us there. It gives us an interesting enumeration for 5 across though, because what's this that we're looking for something that goes T, T, Y if 8 down is treatise. Spring. We know there's nothing funny about this clue either. It's time you started with indenture. I mean, I wonder if you started actually is used to clue Y and the T is used to clue. I think that gives us, I mean, it can be SA for sex appeal. But SA is something TTY. Indenture. Well done. Yeah. Making very slight progress. Yeah, just give me a second. We can chat. I'm going to do a pattern search on this. If nothing pops up, I suspect that will mean we have... I wonder if the second last T... No. May will mean that we're dealing with a clash somewhere. So I'm just trying different locations for the clash. But nothing pops up there. maybe it's not. Maybe the tea from Treatise isn't work. Sapidity, lacking flavour. And I don't like any of these. Sunsetty? No. I mean, I wonder if I'm incorrect on the aisle for 7 down. But it really is the sort of crossword which is going to punish you if you do get something incorrect. Flair or flares? Is he a no. Just looking at 35 across there. I'm almost up to the point where I just want to do what's required to get us to the next stage. But it's not going to be useful for us if what that means is that we're missing clashes. But the fact that we can't get some of these means that the clashes are probably in some of these clues and these entries that we already have. 25 down. Bakshi, we had a look at that, which is a paymaster in India. A Kwashi, is a black person. And I wonder if the word black is used there to clue as a definition for Kwashi. And rugby we're dealing with an insertion indicator, dead leaves quashed in fine perfume is queer fine perfume. Ashman dead leaves. There's a dead body. But, I mean, that's a... I find it hard to believe that this could be the answer, because I find it hard to believe that in 2001 the word black was deemed a sufficient or appropriate definition for quashing. I find it hard to believe. I mean, it could well be wrong. No, but what would a fine perfume be? I mean, if that is what the answer is. You know perfumes, don't you? Balm, musk and odor, scent, aroma, If that was quashy, what does that mean for 31 across, assuming there's nothing there, no clashes? The second one would be an A. It was a metre long. I feel like I've really run up against a wall here. I really want to run up against a wall. I'm assuming that 2016 is lactic. I would put a C in the fourth letter of 2031 across. Hope we've got a clash. The first letter of 31 across. Let's test out some. No. Beatles and metre long. Sorry, man. Got no idea. Really have hit a wall. 26 down. French Knight. Ordering, it's 8 bottles of milk. Fast? No. Gadget. Just looking at words I don't know the answer to, but so that I don't know the definitions of, in the hope that it might give me something to work with, just a little in somewhere. I think about casein before, where we protein obtained from milk from the basis of cheese. Excuse me. It's just nothing there. I mean, we've definitely got clashes. Definitely got clashes. Which is why we like lactic for that clue, but see, this one here has to give an extra N, and that one there has to give an extra O. Oh, we know that. We've already sort of factored that in, haven't we? French Knight, 8 bottles. French Knight, 8 bottles. Of milk. Gee whiz. Goodness gracious. Let's go back to 31 across now. I'm missing some of the additions from the Beatles. Don't think so. The Beatles is to jut or overhang, hang or to scurry. Overhanging or scowling. Didn't know that. Raunch. Something with that. Rouse. Snorter, roar, bellow, to grubber. Oh, goodness gracious. And even with, got to a point where even with the help of a pattern search, just cannot make progress. I'm just looking at the moment on what the actual opportunities are for us to find 6 other clashes in here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. So half of those cells I've just indicated are going to be clashes. However, there can only be 1 per word. So there's only going to be 1 here. There's going to be 1 clash here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. No, we might have an issue here. We may have an issue because we might not actually have enough spots for there to be further clashes. So it's meant to be 8 in total. So if we only have 1 in this word, in the top row, we could have 1 here, 2, 3, 4. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Part of our problem may well be that there are meant to be 8 clashes. We've already got 2. Where's our 8th clash? Because there's only 5 words there. Yeah, no entry in the complete diagram has more than 1 misprint. Which is what I'm taking the idea that there are 8 clashes from. Okay, I think we need to start solving this from the perspective of the end game. If we're working on the basis that this is the Napoleon of crime, we have the Valley of Fear. The fact that we've been able to work that out. Darren says, haven't been much help, I had to get ready for work. Tell you what, I'm really feeling it an hour and 20 minutes into the solve, or however long it is, and having not made much, I feel like a bit of a bullhead. But I think the progress that I have made has been largely due to you. Napoleon of crime was only mentioned in the final problem. Which one is his final? The final problem probably wasn't actually the final one, because I think he came back. He killed off Sherlock Holmes, but then he was so much outruled that he actually called him back for another one. Yeah, the return of Sherlock Holmes. I'm not quite sure which. Yeah, the next one. One of the stories is called The Six Napoleons. The case what? No, it's not that one. I might be missing the one that it's from. His last bow it might be from, but have I got his last bow here? It might be on the shelf. Moriarty came up with the treatise of the binomial problem in the same book. So what else was Moriarty named for? So Moriarty must have been famous for both the treatise on the binomial problem and the something of and something. Where was it? I had one of his books mentioned in Valley of Fear. Thanks. The dynamics of an asteroid? That's got to be dynamics of an asteroid. It's got to be. I mean, I read it out before. Why didn't I pick up on that before? So the dynamics of an asteroid. I should have made that link. So put the dynamics of an asteroid. There we go. We've got that. So in this ladder title, corresponding letter pairs of the two letter words each provide 8 clashes in the diagram. So let's work to it from that way. So we have we might be able to identify exactly where these extra clashes are. That's probably going to be helpful. In dynamics of an asteroid, we have the N and the T, so that gives us the third one. We have an A and a D, which gives us the first one. So our clashes are going to be in places where these are. So if I'm looking, for example, that this 5 across entry here, I don't have anything for SAI something TTY, but I can go through each of these letters and I can try and do some substitutions to see whether or not I won't do. SA something I, something TTY. And go through each of these letters and try and do some substitutions to see if I can come up with an alternative. And I'm taking the substitutions from the remaining matching letters of dynamics and asteroid. So I, for example, may become an O. I don't have anything there. Unless I'm looking for... What if I get rid of that aisle? Because if aisle's incorrect, then density. My goodness. Density, aisle must be incorrect. I think. We have a clash here, density, which means I'm not quite sure what the wordplay is yet. The density is the indentured part. So the D and the S, get rid of there. So spring must be dance, it's time you start. So with indenture must be the definition. Not quite sure. Not quite sure how we get to that in the wordplay. But spring could be dance. Time you started. So with indentured means deeply indented, which gives density. Which means that we're incorrect potentially with... Oh no, we have another clash here. So all is correct, but we have 2 clashes there, which resolves why we weren't able to account for all of the clues. And we're definitely cooking and guessing that.
Because I also can't just pay Hero 20 bucks and so you can count for it. She's not happy because...
She's not happy?
Oh.
Why is she happy?
She owes me 20 bucks.
She owes you 20 bucks?
Because I had $3 lunch now. Dinner's ready.
Okay.
Dinner's ready now.
Sorry guys, I got dinner. I've got to go now.
Alright, I'm going to log back in and...
We'll be like 10-15 minutes, guys. See you guys later.
Yeah, but when you say guys, you're actually... It's only just that, because I've only got 2 viewers.
Oh. It's fine. Dad, is icing vanilla back?
Ice and Vanilla, Ice and Vanilla's popped in a few times. Darren / Shark has been
Hello
helping
guys.
with this one.
Gotta go, man.
Camping out enough, let's go.
Alright, okay. Okay, alright. I'll be back. We're on a roll here. I'm going to be back. It's taken an hour and a half to get into it, but we're close to getting a grid fill because we've worked out how we're going to do it. The dynamics of an asteroid helps. I will be back.